If I had known these things when I was in my early 20s, I wouldn't have made certain mistakes and I wouldn't even have had certain beliefs that I now know were rooted in fear and insecurity. Hi, my name is Apoorva. I talk about things like feminine energy, femininity, womanhood, self-development, spirituality, and more. So if you want to learn more about those things, then do consider subscribing to my channel and turn the notifications on so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So the first thing that I wish every young woman knew is that you don't have to try to be more masculine to be successful. Look, men don't need to be more feminine in order to succeed at work. So why should you have to be something that you are not? Why should you have to go against your biological makeup? The world that we live in does have a masculine structure, but we need to find ways to be more feminine while doing whatever it is that we do, and to do those things in a more feminine way. Your career should not require you to lose touch with your femininity. And if you are ever required to choose between success and your well-being, that is the well-being of your mind, your body, and your soul, then I would suggest that you choose your well-being, because your femininity is your essence and worldly success can never be worth losing that. The second thing is that your intuition is your superpower. In the modern world, we tend to look for logic in everything that we do or believe in. We look for answers outside of ourselves. We let others tell us what is true or false, right or wrong. But by doing this, we dishonor our inner knowing. Women are naturally highly intuitive, but as we grow up, we tend to disregard our intuition. We don't trust our gut instincts. But remember that society would never encourage you to trust your instincts, because if a woman follows her intuition, then it is very difficult to control her. So you must not give your power away. Remember that your inner voice is the voice of the divine within you. So you must not ignore it. You must learn to trust it. The third thing is that you are a cyclical being, so you must honor the different phases of your menstrual cycle. Your body is different from that of a man on a biological level. Your hormones fluctuate over the month, while a man's hormonal cycle is the same every single day. So you don't need to force yourself to show up in the same way every single day of your cycle. You might not feel as energetic in your luteal phase as you would in your follicular or your ovulatory phase. So you don't need to push yourself to be equally productive every single day. You don't need to prove that you are just as good as a man by trying to live like a man or work like a man. There's nothing to prove, and men and women are inherently equal, but they are not identical. And so we must honor the differences between us. So be kind to yourself and play to your strengths. Remember that you can't beat a man at being a man. So don't fall for that narrative that masculinity is superior to femininity, because it is completely false. And remember that masculinity and femininity complement each other. They complete each other. They need each other. Also, the reason why so many women these days suffer from menstrual or fertility issues is because they are living against their cyclical nature. When you start living in accordance with your moon cycle, by honoring every phase of it, you will realize how much ease and peace it brings into your life. The fourth thing is that being feminine does not mean that you are weak. Being softer means that you have great strength because you are willing to be vulnerable. The women who come across as very tough are usually the women who have a masculine shield around them because they are afraid of getting hurt. They do not feel safe to trust others. It takes great strength to be open to life's experiences, whether good or bad, because you know that there is a possibility of getting hurt. Look, most women have a feminine core, so as feminine women, we must not oppose our innate nature. It is safe to be feminine. Of course, you must use your intuition and be discerning to know whom to trust and whom not to trust. And if you are vulnerable and you do get hurt in some way, then maybe it was meant for you to learn something. Besides, you cannot live your whole life trying to be someone that you know you are not. Remember that if you never taste something bitter, you would never be able to truly appreciate something sweet. So don't be afraid to be open and receptive. The fifth thing is that you must individuate from your parents. As a young woman, you must question and analyze the ideas that your parents have or support, not necessarily to oppose them, but to know whether those ideas align with your personal values, opinions, and ideas. Every generation has the right to have their own views. There is nothing wrong with disagreeing with your parents about something. Stop trying to please them by sharing their views without thinking whether you agree with them. Also, if you do disagree with your parents about something, then you don't need to hide your views from them. You need to respect yourself as the adult woman that you are, and others, including your parents, need to respect your right to have your own opinions, values, beliefs, and ideas. You don't need to make yourself small in order to please people. Being a young woman can be challenging and exciting, confusing and liberating. Life can seem to be moving too fast, but remember that you always have the choice to slow down. Life is not a competition, it is not a race, and there's always going to be more goals and success to achieve. But that success would be meaningless if you are too busy to smell the roses. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.